كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه بالتحدي لا سواه.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Sehri Show right here on INX Prime. My name is Ayesha Mmako.
I'm Sumayyah Letoba.
And today we will be giving you the best, and the best there is to offer at Suhoor time. We are going to be making some eggs, wrap, avocado, baked beans, salsa sauce. It's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to actually making this for my girls. So the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is I'm going to be crushing the eggs in here. And so long as I'm doing that, please tell me about how you're finding Ramadan so far. I know the day before yesterday, we were complaining about like how tired we actually are. I just feel like more tired.
Yeah.
But we can't complain. We knew this month was coming in. This is exactly what it brings. What's your
Yeah,
experience?
I feel like every day is different. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit energetic. I hope the energy stays throughout the day because towards the end of Maghrib or towards the end of like after Asr and Maghrib, that's when your energy is drained to the core. But today we are having a very high protein breakfast. We have eggs, we have Evo. Like this should keep you at least throughout the day, and I feel like it should keep you even energized, nyana, because there's no drinking of Red Bulls, there's no energy. Kore, how jealous, so this is the end. So inshallah this keeps us through the day. I'm hoping that it looks like a nice meal because we are having wraps also. But you guys, you must stay tuned on our show. This is the show where we plug you with Quran, du'as, we have nasiha, we have breakfast. There is so much more coming up on the show. The eggs are the last time I did eggs for the girls, they said I put a lot of salt. So now I'm learning to see how Aisha's measuring hers.
Yeah, it's like I feel like eggs are very sensitive to salt, so you need to be very careful. Like very easily,
Does
you
that
can
even
just
like sensitive
yes,
to salt?
yes. There are certain food that soak up salt
Okay.
faster than other food.
And eggs as well.
It's like, for an example, if you have to tell me between beef and chicken, chicken is one thing that will like what you call this absorb salt faster than beef.
Okay.
So
you can add, you mean in chicken, you should add a little bit of salt. And then
Not
even
too
if, let's
much.
say, beef, you make a mistake of adding a little bit of more salt, it's not going to be as much as it would have been in
On the
chicken.
chicken, yes, it's the same thing with eggs. So if
We are
you hook
learning.
up it's a problem because then it's a bit much. So viewers at home, this is the eggs. I know some people maybe prefer to put a little bit of milk, to just make it more fluffy. So we're gonna make them scrambled, right? We're gonna scramble the eggs. I'm going to toast the wrap, and like doing like a omelette wrap. I'm gonna do scramble, toast the wrap, avocado there, baked beans. My God, the girls are gonna really like this, and put some salsa sauce on the side. I'm actually going all out for suhoor time, so I hope they actually really really appreciate it. So let's get on the stove and actually get into it because time is running out. This is not necessarily a very complicated breakfast. I mean, eggs are always fast, they're extremely fast. So let's get into it.
I don't know if you love eggs as much as I do. Like I love eggs. Like I could eat eggs for breakfast, lunch, and supper. I could also eat them Monday to Sunday if it was possible. Like I can never have enough of eggs. Like it's just one of those things that like born day and night.
I feel like I do love eggs, but like not like every day. Like now, not every day. Like I can't every day have the eggs. Then because then it gets too much. But eggs are good.
Yeah, eggs are really good. I love
Eggs are
eggs.
nice.
It's one of those things also besides the fact they're quick, because some of us, we are always on the run, like we are always late. It's either you're going to work or you have this and that, so eggs are just the best.
They are very fast. That's the nice thing about eggs. Very quick, very straight to the point. If you're someone that's in the rush, it's like the quickest breakfast for you.
Yeah.
Breakfast on the go.
And it's also one of those things where, like with eggs, I do a lot of things. So I'll have them boiled tomorrow and then I'll fry them the next. And then even the frying, like it's different. You can make an omelette today. Tomorrow you can make scrambled. The other day you can make those sunshine eggs or whatever they call them. I think that's what they're called.
What, sunny side up?
Oh, sunny side up. You can make that.
Sunshine. Lalela.
They look like a sun because they are white and then
It actually makes sense. Don't worry. I feel like Nje, you can just call them whatever is easy for you to remember. Sunshine eggs, sunny side up. I'm just gonna put this here. We'll throw it away.
And then my absolute favorite is like the typical boiled egg sandwich, you know, the one that you'd obviously put like mayo or whatever else that you like adding on it every day, any day. Give that to me and I don't know if I'm talking like this because like hunger is poking or what, but I love eggs.
So, okay, so what I'm doing here, I don't know if you've ever seen this, Sumayyah. This is keep learning, take notes.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to let them toast so that it's a bit crispy. And then after that, obviously, we're going to make the eggs and all of that. So that's a long process. We're going to be doing that in the meantime. So you can be also busy in your kitchen. And then when you come back, we're going to show you exactly what we had prepared for the suhoor.
كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه بالتحدي لا سواه لا تبالي فالمعالي.
Assalamu alaikum. You are still watching the Sehri Show with your fave hosts. Before we continue onwards, let us start our day the way we always prefer, and that's with our Surah Yasin. I'll see you after that.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضد لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون
لا تبالي فالمعالي لا تبالي فالمعالي.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching the Sehri Show right here on INX Prime. We are now at our dining table. We've got eggs, we've got baked beans, we've got Evo, wraps and salsa, hot and spicy sauce. Listen, this is gonna look so nice. I mean, taste nice. It looks very beautiful. So yeah, let's indulge, guys. I think, yeah.
I think you should be the one that thinks the sauce on the
On the Evo.
yeah.
I feel like everybody must put it for themselves. I don't know if everybody prefers to have salt on their Evo. That's why I didn't put
Some
it like
people have it with sugar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean in the right setting, but like this salt would be the only way, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I know some people that have it only with sugar.
Okay, but before we even dig in, I do want to say that like the spread looks amazing, guys. Like the aesthetics, 10 out of 10. Wow. Wow.
10 out of 10.
We make effort in the kitchen. Like I did say, this was made with so much love, consideration for my sisters. I want them to keep their fast with a smile. I want the food to, inshallah, have barakah, to last in their stomach. So yeah,
Please pass me
this
the
is
wrap,
it. I
please.
think, yeah,
Oh, you
this
want to
is-
show off her skills.
كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة.
Okay, lay this on the not on the floor. Hey, Baba. On the
wrap.
Is a,
On that
is a
wrap.
tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
It can act as both.
Guys, it's a fruit.
I honestly feel like it's a vegetable. Like
I also
it's
think
not a
I think
fruit.
it's a vegetable because I don't vomit.
It makes sense for it
Yeah.
to be a vegetable.
Yeah,
But
so-
then scientists say it's a fruit.
They're crazy. Have you ever seen someone walking around eating
Guys,
it?
there should be a proof enough that it's a vegetable.
It's not a vegetable. It's a. And why are we talking about those other things on our dining table?
Which other
When's
things?
Zagalan?
Wow.
Anyway, I love eggs. Like I said,
Can I have some of the salsa?
salsa.
Mm-hmm.
That's also my darling.
Oh,
Oh, Sumayyah.
sorry. I thought it's just the sauce. I didn't know it has a name. I'm
I
just
also
gonna
want
make
salsa. Oh, it
it
looks nice. Where's the salt?
into
I'm making
like
myself
a.
like a mini wrap.
So you really don't
Same.
ever.
No, thank you. Can I have more eggs at least?
Absolutely. Help yourself, please.
Yes. Make yourself at home. For those of us that are looking to got our figures. This is the right amount of serving and portions.
No,
This is the
you need to be full.
salt.
It's Sehri.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's a fat phobia or what.
Phobia. Women
I know.
women are always scared of gaining weight. Like
Can I
it's a
please have
thing.
salt?
So
It's because I have a lot of people, like 9 out of 10 people that I meet are always telling me the way I've gained weight, the way I look
that's
fat,
the problem.
the
That
way
everybody feels like they have a right to comment on your weight, which automatically makes you more conscious of it.
it makes you uncomfortable, like conscious now of everything. Like you're like,
But I'll be honest with you, it's never gonna stop. When you get married, they're gonna talk about your weight. When you have a baby, they're gonna talk about your weight. After the baby, when you have another one, inshallah, they're gonna talk about your weight. And even when you're 45 and like you've lived your life, they're still gonna talk about your weight.
If I have a very close and Bona, unprovoked, I will give you information. I'll give you feedback. Constantly watching you, remind you, all of the transitions. But if I don't know you like that, because see, if with my friends, I kind of know maybe what they like, what they prefer. We always talk about our bodies. We're comfortable with each other. So I know that if I have to say to her that you've gained weight or you're losing weight, it's not going to be taken. Like she knows that it's not coming from a malicious place. I'm not even trying to be funny with you. Sometimes we even joke with each other to say, "Oh, you're losing or you're gaining."
asking like, do I look like I gained weight? But that's because you trust the person. So you know it's not
Yes.
coming from an evil place.
Yeah.
I'm talking about those people who have no business telling you what you look like, especially the aunties.
I was about to say that.
You don't know me. Like, don't tell me about my weight.
so I'm trying to maintain myself as much as I can
Maintain
this
the weight.
Ramadan.
Listen, I just want to make there's a disclaimer coming. I feel like the way I'm going to be eating healthy in Ramadan, the Eid outfit has to land properly. You understand? So
It's like a wedding gown.
yeah, it's like there's a wedding, like it's
So
a
you
gala,
prepare.
guys. It is a gala for Muslims. We
Yeah.
can't just, there's a gala coming up, so you have to watch what you eat, your skin. We drinking our vitamins. We're making sure that when Eid comes, the girls are glowing, the girls are on point, and yeah, we look good in our outfits. Have you guys started planning your Eid outfits?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right.
I feel like
Searching for like
Think of it,
inspo.
I don't know.
I already know what I'm wearing.
Do you color scheme this year?
Uh,
Or you want to share because we can
yes.
Custom made, or you can buy something.
These days I no longer buy.
Custom made are the best,
I
right?
don't
Last time
buy.
I asked her, she was like,
Last year I was
"Wash custom
Jasmine.
made." I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like to buy anymore because I also feel like it's you can't necessarily, number one, get the vision that you're looking for with abayas. Abayas are like very standard. Number two, they're very overpriced. So I
It's gonna be
realized
me, you, and her.
I wanted to say that.
yes, and then it's
don't
like
you end up spending the same thing when you're paying for say
no, it's with when I get my stuff done, it's actually less cheaper than buying an abaya.
That's also more fun.
It's more fun in getting an outfit and watching it done, and you're like, oh my God, that's my brain.
Yeah,
Like, I designed that, I made that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So this year, guys, yeah, we are, I think, I don't know. I really wish there was like a proper Muslim gala thing. I remember when I said I was going to host one and people still DM me to say, hi, Busi.
Where is it?
Where is it? We need it. We need it. If you're someone that's really passionate about event planning and all of that, talk to me. Let's make it happen. The thing is, I've got a lot on my plate also right now. I don't think like proper gala. Cameras.
Like Rihanna or something.
Listen, we want to do that.
Carpet.
That's what we want. But the reality is that Muslim girls, it's like, yo, it's our time to shine. I feel like that's the only time we really go out of, Man, I don't know if boys make this. Boys don't even try it too hard, man. Like they take it very, like it's salah done, in their chill outfits. You don't necessarily see them like going all over, Bona girls. We are like this the night before Eid. The henna is drying. I feel like on the day of Eid, the only thing I do is refresh my Instagram because to see it's so nice to see like who's wearing what. Like it's my favorite time, guys.
You know
Like
what? I even get DM'd. When are you posting? We're
yes,
waiting for your
we're
dress.
wasting. I mean, look, we're wasting. We're waiting for you. I feel
You're
like
always
that's so
waiting.
nice. That's so nice. We see Muslim girls like dressing up, and I like that everybody has different styles, different interpretations of what Eid means to them. them like in a stylish way. Oh, it's so beautiful. Makeup on point. Like girls are out.
And I feel like everyone's trying to do modest fashion. So even if you're not a hijabi, you're trying to do something modest, something different, something unique. And you're trying to outdo what you wore last year.
Yeah, true.
So
You're
you're like,
always
what
like
can
giving
I do?
yourself. Even I was thinking to myself, I was like, no, this year I need something that I didn't. But I think one thing I realized about myself, I have a very like similar style. Like
You have your style.
I have my style. So whatever it is, you will tell that it's the same. It's the same person that made it last year, but it's just different, interpreted differently. I have the same aesthetic. If that makes sense.
Honestly, I feel like I'm not that deep into those things. It's like it is what it is.
No, everyone has their own thing. Yeah.
No, even though you're saying it is what it is, but you're gonna dress up, right?
What do you usually go and eat?
Depends.
Depends. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I think it is a time where we spend time with our loved ones or family, friends. And if anything, I realize that it is what you make it to be. You need to plan ahead. So now that it's Ramadan, guys, you guys need to start already planning for Eid, making sure that you get a beautiful Eid. Because if you don't make the effort, obviously it's not gonna happen. Do you know what I wish we could do? Am I being too ambitious? Why don't we have like a pajama night Eid moon sighting ceremony?
Oh my goodness, that's so
I would do.
You get what I'm saying? We have a theme to say maybe we're wearing like beige pajamas, obviously modest, whatever. And we're here to set the mood. And then all the like Muslimas, we meet at like a certain house, and then we sit outside, and when we're all in hijab.
And we can get like maybe 2 or 3 Mendi artists to come through to do our
Yeah,
hair.
to do
The Mehndi right there for the next.
Or we can go together to go get it done or something.
I'm being serious. You know why I'm saying this? I think it can be pulled off because all of us here like represent different friend groups.
Yeah.
You know, you bring people from your world. I bring. It's not a who organized what. We're just meeting up for moon sighting. Okay. You know what? I love suhoor. I think it's the food. I think it's the love that I put. It's the morning. We're getting revelations. But viewers at home, this has been a beautiful, beautiful start to the morning. Make sure that you do stay with us throughout the whole show because we still have more beautiful content coming up. But without wasting time, we're gonna take a quick ad break and we will see you right after this.
لا تبالي فالمعالي لا تبالي فالمعالي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back from the 8th break. Now let's go listen to a Mulana for some nasiya.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. You know the thing about the Day of Judgment, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it in such a graphic manner that we'll be so alone on that day that a man will be running away from his parents, from his spouse, from his friends, from his own children. And on that day, with all that nothingness and loneliness, there is a glimmer of hope. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that there are 30 verses that will intercede for their companion on the Day of Judgment until that companion is forgiven. So then it makes sense to connect to these 30 verses, which the Prophet ﷺ mentioned are the verses of Surah Al-Mulk. So this Ramadan, we'll be taking a deep dive into the translation and commentary of Surah Al-Mulk. And not only that, we'll be memorizing its ayat so that we can strengthen this connection and become a companion to this surah and hope that it becomes our advocate on the Day of Judgment. Assalamu alaikum.
When I was young, I recall vividly we used to tell the other children in the schools we have a month of fasting. And they would say, you guys are crazy. A month of fasting? You mean a month with no food, no drink? And we used to say, yeah, man. MashaAllah. Not realizing that, it's not a month of no food and no drink. It's a month wherein which, during the daylight hours, you don't consume food and drink. So that's the first understanding. When you tell people, Ramadan is a month where we don't eat and drink, it's not the whole month. It's every day during the whole month, during the entire month. But at night, the restrictions are lifted. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So that's the first point. When we're explaining to people about Ramadan, we must realize that the understanding is such that people don't know it's just from dawn to dusk, and in the evening all restrictions are lifted. but it is still a month of greater goodness in every single way. You know, my brothers and sisters, if you look at the intermittent fasting that is being promoted by the medical fraternity correctly, and they say you fast at least 2 days a week, and it will help you, it will improve your health, and so on. We as Muslims already do the 2 days a week from the time the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, made it clear that it is his practice to fast on a Monday and a Thursday. Is that not 2 days a week? And it used to happen from the very beginning, and all of us are encouraged to do the same. And then we have 3 days a month of voluntary fasting. So the 2 days a week is voluntary for those who want to achieve a reward. The health part of it is just a bonus, but the spiritual part of it, the sunnah meaning the practice recommended by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, although he didn't make it compulsory, is something that we would seek. We would seek that reward. So the 3 days in the month, and then in the year, there is an entire month. The Almighty says, this month is mine. The month of Ramadan is mine. If you are going to fast correctly in this month, and you are going to stand in prayer at night in the correct way, I will reward you with nothing short of total forgiveness. من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه ومن قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Whoever is going to fast in the correct manner in the month of Ramadan for the entire month, with full conviction in the Almighty, hoping for a reward from the Almighty, all the previous sins are wiped out. And whoever stands in prayer every night in the month of Ramadan with conviction, hoping for a reward from their Lord, will achieve the same reward of total forgiveness. So what happens? It commences with the sighting of the crescent, and it ends with the sighting of the crescent. So we go out when 29 days of the previous month of Sha'ban are done. We would go out at the time of sunset to look for the moon. And we would look for this crescent, and as soon as you see it, hey, wow, I've seen the moon, mashallah. Allahumma ahillahu alayna. There is a supplication to be made, oh Allah, let this moon come upon us with ease, with goodness, with submission, with belief, with faith, with conviction, and so on. A beautiful prayer. You look at the moon and immediately you realize the month of Ramadan has just come in. It's the month not just of fasting, not just of prayer at night, the month of reformation, the month of spiritual rejuvenation, the month of enrichment in terms of your relationship with the Almighty. When Allah Almighty says in the Quran that He has prescribed the fasting and He's made it compulsory, He doesn't even talk about the abstaining from food and drink. Listen to what He says. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you who believe, fasting has been made compulsory upon you, like it was upon the previous nations, in order that you achieve the correct relationship with Allah or with your Maker. The term tattaqun means God consciousness, developing the correct relationship with Allah. Some might translate it as the fear of the Almighty, but you know there is fear. I've explained it before, but for the benefit of those who may not have heard, when we say fear your Lord, what do we mean? Someone says, you know, Allah wants you to fear Him. What does that mean? You know, why should I be scared of the one whom I'm worshipping, scared of him? I mean, there's supposed to be love, isn't there? So, yes, indeed, there is supposed to be love. But when you love someone beyond a certain point, you fear hurting them or making them upset or making them angry or doing something they would be displeased with. That's common logic. When a spouse loves his or her spouse so much that he or she does not want to say or do anything to hurt even their feelings, what are you fearing? You're fearing their anger, or you're fearing them being upset, or you're fearing that the relationship is going to be interrupted or is going to be affected negatively. That's fear that is born out of love. So when we speak of Allah Almighty, I don't want to upset Him. I don't want to be on the wrong side. That is called taqwa. I create a barrier between myself and the anger, or the, should I say, the punishment of Allah Almighty, by doing the right things and staying away from all the wrong things that He has asked me to stay away from. That is taqwa. So Allah doesn't mention the staying away from food and drink in detail. He just says, you've got to fast. And the idea of the fast is to achieve what is known as taqwa. There it goes. And that's the reason why as soon as the crescent is sighted, everyone congratulates each other. The messages start floating, Ramadan is starting. And the first thing, what happens? What happens? The first thing you do, you rush to the masjid in order to engage in prayer. That's how Ramadan starts. Ramadan starts before you've even stayed away from food. As soon as you see the moon, you rush, you start preparing, and you rush to the masjid, to the mosque, in order to start praying. And it's not just an ordinary prayer. It's a long prayer, made up of many units. But guess what? It's not compulsory. It's voluntary, but it's recommended. It was done by the Prophet, peace be upon him, in a certain way. But it was never made compulsory, but everyone fulfills it. It's called Taraweeh. You're supposed to achieve comfort, raha. Raha means, comfort and ease through prayer. And so when you start that prayer, it's between you and the Almighty. Here it is. I'm starting the month of Ramadan, promising Allah that I'm going to take it seriously. It's going to change me, to make me a better person. I'm going to become closer to the Almighty, more compassionate, and I'm going to work on my character, my conduct. I'm going to protect myself from doing anything that is wrong. And I'm going to get to a few of these things. So, mashallah, the month has begun. Ramadan has started. What happens? Those who were not so practicing, those who were a little bit distant from the Almighty, the month itself automatically brings about a connection with the Almighty. You see people starting to dress appropriately just because the moon was sighted and it's Ramadan. And they say, this Ramadan I'm going to dress in a way that's pleasing to Allah. So they know. People know that I'm supposed to do this anyway, but here I am. It's a boost from Allah. One day, you will start doing the right thing in Ramadan, and when Ramadan ends, you will continue with the right thing by the will of Allah. So if you've done something because it's Ramadan, remember, the Lord in Ramadan and the Lord out of Ramadan is the same Lord. So let's try and continue that, inshallah, even after the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is supposed to bring about consciousness, awareness, change that can remain after Ramadan. What's the point of a person consuming intoxicants and doing all sorts of things, involved in whatever other major sin they may be, come Ramadan and they leave it. The day of Eid, which is the day of happiness and joy, at the end of Ramadan, they are suddenly back into all their bad ways and habits. What was the point? You pressed pause. You pressed pause. When Ramadan was done, you unpaused it. You continued to play whatever you were playing before. So we're not supposed to do that. Ramadan is supposed to come. You're supposed to exit it in a way that you can feel at least one major change. My brothers, my sisters, if you change one major thing in your lives every year that Ramadan comes, by the time you are 50 or 60, if Allah gives you that life, you would have changed 20, 30 things depending on when exactly you started fasting. And fasting becomes incumbent, meaning it becomes compulsory upon the one who's arrived at maturity, the age of maturity, mashallah. Once you're an adult, you should fast. May Allah make it easy for those who have just started fasting to fast. I know with our children, we usually encourage them in a beautiful way, and we teach them how to start, we show them the importance of it, and a year comes in their lives when they suddenly come and say, you know what, I fasted all my fasts. You should be excited, you should be happy, you should show them that you're really, really proud of them, because it's not easy, it's not a joke. But my brothers and sisters, Ramadan brings about a beautiful change because it has the blessings of the Almighty. It was created as the best of the months of the lunar calendar that we as Muslims follow according to Muslims. We have 12 months, and the best of those months is the month of Ramadan. And the best time of that month of Ramadan is the last 10 days. In fact, the last 10 nights, to be more precise. And the best time of the last 10 nights of Ramadan are the odd nights of that month of Ramadan. Do you know why? Because in those nights there is one night. We don't know exactly which one it is, but Allah wants us to search for it. He wants us to search for it. There is one night that is more powerful than 1,000 months. If you were to worship the Almighty on that particular night and seek His forgiveness and praise Him, it would be multiplied by so many, meaning so many fold, that you would achieve the reward of having done the same thing every night for 1,000 months, which is approximately 84 years. Now, why did Allah not tell us, look, that night is the 25th? Or that night is the 27th. Why did He leave it? Why did He leave it for us to search for? Literally the term in the Arabic language is taharraw, to search for. Taharraw laylat al-qadri fil witri min al-ashr al-awakhir min Ramadan. You search for this night of decree and power in the odd nights of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. The reason is, well, He knows best, but I can tell you what we've understood from it. Imagine if He told you that it is on this date of Ramadan. It would be equivalent to telling you, well, you're going to die on this day, this time, and exactly at this moment in this place. What would happen? People would sin. People would do whatever they want. And then when it comes close to the moment, I'm about to die at 12 o'clock. Okay guys, Allahu Akbar, Astaghfirullah, Allah forgive me, grant me goodness. I really did a lot of things in my life I'm not proud about, forgive me. And now I'm ready to go. And then you're standing and waiting for the time. I mean, come on, you can't do that. So the same would apply if Allah told man that, look, this is the time, exact moment. Man is such that he would do whatever he wants, and then when it gets to that particular moment, he would quickly stand and say, oh Allah, forgive me, I did bad, and I know this is the night of decree, now I know you're going to forgive me, and so on and so forth. The same would apply on a Friday. Every Friday, did you know there is a moment? They call it sa'ah in the Arabic language, but sa'ah also refers to a moment. There is a moment. Some people say an hour, some people say anything, but it's actually a moment on a Friday, in which if you were to ask anything, Allah would give it to you. You supplicate, you call out to the Almighty for anything, Allah will give it to you. You have a problem, here it is. On every Friday, there is a moment during the day that if you were to ask the Almighty what you want, He will give it to you. Do you know the moment? Well, no, I don't know exactly which moment it is. What's the solution? Well, I can tell you. The solution is, keep repeating your supplication throughout the day. That's the solution. Because there is a moment on that Friday that the dua is answered, meaning the supplication is responded to positively. Imagine if we were told what that moment is. People would be closing down their businesses, everything would shut down. And what would happen? We would then, subhanallah, we would then be able to just pray at a certain time and forget about Allah for the rest of the time. But Allah wants you to continue, and He wants you to struggle, and He wants you to try, and He wants you to strive so that you appreciate His favors. Many people don't appreciate what they have until they don't have it. When you don't have it, you start saying, oh, you know what? I was so fortunate and I didn't really appreciate what I had. The same applies to your contentment, your faith, your connection with the Almighty. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. We must make sure that we do our best to appreciate the favors of the Almighty by showing Him that gratitude through faith and worship. We worship the Almighty. Like in Ramadan, there are certain things that we're not allowed to do, right? For example, you know you cannot eat and drink during the month of Ramadan in the day. Did you know that you're also not allowed to utter foul language at all? If you do, the reward of your fast is either nullified or minimized. Did you ever know that? So as much as it is very, very rewarding for you to fast, and obviously it's compulsory, so you would have to, but you need to know what will break that fast is water. Water. Drink anything, it will break your fast. Eat anything, it will break your fast. What else will break your fast? If you were to swear someone, or you were to utter bad words, or to lie, or to deceive, or cheat, it would minimize the reward of your fast, or it would actually break it. Now, why is that? What's the connection between the two? The connection is the mouth. The mouth. I put water through my mouth. I put food into my mouth. When I speak with the same mouth, my tongue. What goes in can create a problem for you, and what goes out can also create a problem for you. That's the month of Ramadan. So many of us, we are Muslim for years. And we don't realize, you know what, I haven't been fasting correctly, because when I fast, I still deceive, I still lie, I still swear, I still say vulgarities, I abuse, and whatever else I do during the month of Ramadan in the condition of fasting. What was the point? Weren't you supposed to protect yourself? Now, if I am protecting my mouth from, or my tongue from saying things that are bad in Ramadan, surely I will become used to saying good things. What has Allah done for you? A favor. 30 days of Ramadan. For 30 days, you were very conscious of what you were saying. When you come out of those 30 days, you've improved yourself. Already people will notice, because I'm so used to not swearing now that I don't swear anymore. I'm so used to not abusing people that I don't abuse anyone anymore. That's a sign that Allah loves you. It's a sign that your Ramadan was accepted. It's a sign that you've changed your life. And that's when you can achieve total forgiveness. Are we ready? Inshallah, to say good words with our mouths. Good words. In Ramadan, Allah also wants you to protect your mind from evil thoughts. He wants you to protect your mind from that which is negative. You must have hope in the mercy of Allah. And this is why we say, the month of Ramadan, if you haven't achieved forgiveness as you're exiting the month of Ramadan, you've lost greatly. Because it's a sale where forgiveness is being given by the Almighty to everyone. I need it, you need it. He wants to grant us the goodness. And you know what? If we haven't achieved what we desperately need, when it's on sale, when are we going to achieve it? This is why seek forgiveness every day. We know. One day I'm going to go. One day you're going to go. If you get used to seeking the forgiveness of the Almighty in simple words or using simple terms, oh Allah, forgive me, I've wronged. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Oh Allah, you are the greatest. Forgive me for whatever I have done. That which I know, that which I don't know. That which I did openly, that which I did in secret. Oh Allah, forgive my shortcomings. I'm a human being. Repeat that. When you say that, the Almighty has already registered it next to your name. If you were to die with that next to your name, good news to you. And if you say that every day, like the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to repeat it, how many times do you think he used to repeat that? How many times do you think he used to say, oh Allah, forgive me, on a daily basis? Can I hear anyone? 100 times, correct. Up to 100 times. A narration says 70 times, more than 70 times. More than 70 and 100 is actually not contradicting, because one is telling you where it gets to and one is saying more than so much. So if he was saying that 100 times a day, we should say it at least a few times a day. Come on. You can't let a day pass without having said, oh Allah, forgive my shortcomings, that which I know, that which I don't know. Human nature has made me err. Forgive me. And then have hope in the mercy of Allah, because Ramadan is the month of hope. And Allah is the Lord that gives us hope, and He forgives us. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Say, O my worshippers who have wronged or transgressed against themselves, wronged themselves, never lose hope in my mercy. Who is saying this? Your Lord, your Maker. Never lose hope in my mercy. For indeed, Allah is the most forgiving, most merciful. He will forgive all of.
لا تبالي فالمعالي لا تبالي فالمعالي.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. I really hope that you took some inspiration from the nasiha that Maulana was just giving us. And speaking of inspiration, another form of inspiration that we want to bless you with or give you this morning is through our revered story. So let's take a listen and we will see you right after this.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well, inshallah. Today I'm back with my mum, hi, to do another reaction video. In the last video that I posted, we got a few comments asking us to react to funny Aussie convert story to Islam. So I thought this one would be quite nice to watch with mum. The last couple that we've watched have been quite serious videos, so I thought it would be nice to have one with a bit of a laugh for mum. Okay, so let's give it a watch.
My story begins in first year university. I had a year where I think a lot of problems happened to me. My parents separated that year. My dog died. That was a particularly tough day. Subhanallah. I had 2 car accidents in the space of 1 week. And also, sadly, I had a friend pass away that year. I think that year led me to sort of ask some questions along the lines of, why am I here? What's the purpose of life? Why do I get up in the morning? Why do I even bother? Why don't I just sit on the couch, watch TV, Jerry Springer, whatever? And I think I started to ask questions about, the purpose of life, and that led me to start to do a bit of a holy quest. Naturally, as an Aussie, the first thing I did was investigate Christianity. I had a few Christian friends, and I remember going to a church camp. It was one of the funniest camps I've ever been to in my life. Everybody was singing. I didn't know what the words were. I didn't know what they were saying. It sounded great. They had beautiful voices, but it just seemed really strange. And everybody was telling me how much God loved me, and I was thinking, God loves me? My dog died. So I kept on investigating Christianity, and I went to a whole lot of, different aspects of Christianity. So we're talking about Catholicism, we're talking about Anglican, Baptist, priests, pastors. And every time I'd go there and ask questions, I'd find that they wouldn't pick up the Bible and start to say, oh, this is the answer, my dear brother. They would just start answering me. They would just answer from their own opinions. And I started to realise that there was a lot of interpretations of Christianity, and a lot of people had their own interpretations, and one priest from one church was believing one particular aspect of Christianity whilst another was proclaiming another. So I started to think to myself, the Bible is one text, but there seems to be so many different interpretations, and it was confusing. At the time, while I was in first year university, I was also working in a service station, one of my part-time jobs. And one of my colleagues was a Hindu, was an Indian Hindu, and we'd regularly change shift. And at that time, I was very inquisitive, and I'd say to him, dude, what's the deal with the elephant head guy? What's the deal with that, Why has that guy got an elephant head? And he's going, oh, that's Ganesha, this. I said, but couldn't you have chosen like a lion's head or something a bit better? We'd have, these really deep theological debates while people were buying petrol. And I'd be saying, yeah, but why break $5 of gas? Thanks, mate, yeah, no problems. And again, I found that was very hard to stomach. So I sort of investigated a little bit further. I had a good friend of mine was a Mormon. And I found that this religion actually appealed to me the most out of all of the Christian religions, the Church of Latter-day Saints. They were quite strict. They don't drink alcohol. They don't drink caffeine. So unfortunately, Coke's out, guys, because I know Levos love Coke. But again, there was that leap of faith I felt that I had to make to embrace this religion. And I found that, I wasn't just into making a leap of faith, I wanted proof. I also investigated Judaism, would you believe? And my original name before Abu Bakr is Reuben. So if you've probably seen all the movies, you've seen Reubenstein. At the end, they probably thought I was Jewish. So they thought, oh, this guy's, one of us. But again, I just didn't find what I was looking for. Lastly, I probably looked into Buddhism, and I found that this was probably the religion that I was going to choose. I thought, look, this is great. There's so much, people at peace here. They seem to be really switched on, and they seem to be living one with the world, and that's what really appealed to me. But the more and more I looked into it, I guess I realised that it wasn't a religion of God. It was just a nice way to live. One of my friends, one of my close friends, who's a Christian, would you believe, said, tell me the religions that you've investigated. So I went through them. I said, Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, Hinduism, He goes, what about Islam? Islam? I go, they're terrorists. I'm not going to investigate that religion. They're crazy. Why would I even look at that religion? But lo and behold, I found myself walking into a mosque one day. This is my eternal quest. So I walked straight in, shoes on, straight across the prayer rug. There was a brother praying. I walked straight in front of him. As he went to go into sujood, I almost stepped on his head. Subhanallah, I didn't have any clue what I was doing. I looked over and I saw this brother. You probably know this guy. This is Abu Hamza. He's come here and he's lectured a few times. Subhanallah, I call him Abu Da'an because he's got a very large beard, mashallah. He came walking out towards me and I thought, today I'm about to die. This is the last day of my life. I'm a dead man. I'm a white boy in Lebland. What am I going to do here? I'm dead. He came walking across as though he just walked out of the Sahara Desert. The big abaya, big beard. But subhanAllah, the first words he said were, "G'day mate, how you going?" If only he had the can of VB, it would have been perfect. SubhanAllah, I was very taken aback by his welcoming nature. As Aussies, I guess now, I don't want to offend any Australians here, but my upbringing is from a country upbringing. My parents raised me as an atheist. They were raised as Christians. They were dragged along to church every Sunday, and they hated every minute of it. So as soon as we were born, they drummed it into our heads that when you die, you're worm food. That's it. There's no afterlife. There's no God. It's all rubbish. So I was raised as an atheist. So when I walked across and I saw Abu Hamza and he was talking to me in a very polite fashion, which I was very thankful for because I was sure I'd seen him on the 5 o'clock news hijacking a plane the day before. Now, Aussies are hospitable, don't get me wrong, but Lebos are the most hospitable people I've ever come across. And as the brother Hamza was saying, these brothers were making me cups of tea, and I honestly needed to keep going to the toilet every 5 minutes. They just kept putting tea in front of me, biscuits. I'd never seen anything like it. And I think to some degree I kept coming back for the biscuits, but also for the religion. So when I sat down with these brothers, I actually started asking questions. I asked all the questions that I've asked of the priests, of the pastors, of my friends. And subhanAllah, the thing that really struck me is that every time I asked the question, they wouldn't just answer. They would pick up a Quran and they would say, "Read this, bro, read this." And there was the answer, every single time. And I would ask another question, you know, the hard questions, not the easy questions. Why do women have to wear the scarf? Why the hijab? How come I can have 4 wives and she can't have 4 husbands? You know, I wanted to know all the tough questions, which is the first questions I guess you ask when you come across Islam. But lo and behold, they kept on answering the questions with the Quran, not from their own opinion. And I got frustrated with this. And I actually said to one of the brothers, because by this stage I think I'd been going there for about a couple of weeks, there was always a few brothers there when I went. And I said to one of the brothers, I said, you know, what's your opinion on the matter? Why won't you give me your opinion? And one of the brothers turned to me one day and said, how can I have an opinion when this is the word of God? SubhanAllah, I remember that really hit me. So I asked them if I could take a Quran home, and I didn't say I was going to use it to chalk up the couch or anything like that. I said I was going to respect the book, so I took it home, I started reading it. What I found was, while reading it, it wasn't as though I was reading a story, it was as though I was reading someone commanding me, you know, someone giving me guidance. And one night I decided to really try and get this spiritual mood happening, and I'm sure probably some of you have heard this story before, so I apologise. I'd lit a candle, I had the window open, I had the curtains drawn, you know, I was trying to get that really spiritual feeling. It was a nice summer night in Melbourne, as summer as it can get in Melbourne, and I was sitting there thinking, this is it, you know, this is the night. I'd been, you know, investigating all the spiritual proofs, all the scientific proofs about the fact that the mountains are the pegs, about, you know, how the embryo develops inside, you know, the woman, all these amazing proofs, but I still needed that little push. It's like I was on the edge of a cliff, I was ready to jump, I just needed a push. So I was sitting there, it was very quiet. I was reading Quran, and I stopped. I said, Allah, this is my moment. This is the time I'm about to jump into Islam. All I need is just a sign. Just a little sign, nothing huge, maybe a bolt of lightning. You know, maybe half the house could fall down or something, you know, just small. Small for you, man. You created the earth, come on. So I sat there, I was waiting for the candle to start gliding up to 4 metres high like in the movies. And I go, okay, go. And subhanAllah, nothing, absolutely nothing happened. I was really disappointed, to be honest. So I sat there and I said, Allah, this is your chance. Yeah, I'm not going nowhere. I'll give you another chance. Okay, maybe you were busy. You know, I know it's daytime over the other side of the world. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. Maybe this time it could just be like a car backfiring. You know, something small. All right, half the house, the candle. Let's forget that. A bird could fart outside. I don't care, just anything. So I said, okay, go. And subhanAllah, absolutely nothing happened. And I mean, I couldn't have even said, oh, that was it. That creep just then in the wall, that was it. Absolutely nothing happened. I was really disappointed. I was gutted. I was sitting there thinking, this is it, you know, this was my last chance, Islam, and I haven't found it. I pulled back the Quran, I turned back to where I was reading. SubhanAllah, the very next verse on the next page, for those of you who ask for signs, have we not shown you enough already? Look around you, look at the stars, look at the sun, look at water. These are the signs for the people of knowledge. And SubhanAllah, threw the doona over my head and I pretended I was asleep. I was that scared because I couldn't believe how arrogant I'd been to want my own specific sign when all the signs had been there for me all along. The fact that we have this world, the fact that there is this creation, these are the signs for all of us. The next day I decided this is it, I'm becoming a Muslim. I've been investigating Islam now for probably about 6 months, to be honest. I went in and I said to myself, this is it, I'm going to make shahada. I had no idea what I had to say. I had no idea what the words were. It was probably close to Isha prayer, so it would have been, 7, 8 o'clock at night. I went in and I couldn't believe it. There was about 1,000 people at the mosque. I thought, subhanAllah, look at this religion. Look at how strong they are. It was the first night of Ramadan. Muslims. So I sat there and I was very nervous, I must admit. I got up and this person's going to me, you got to say these words, bro, Ashhadu. I'm going, what? Ash what? Can't I just say it in English? No, they say, no, you got to say it in Arabic. And I thought, looked out over the sea of beards that I could see in front of me and I thought, if I get these words wrong, I'm a dead man again. I had this fear, And they were staring at me, and I don't know if you know this, but Australians can't stare. Lebanese people can stare. So I was sitting there, I was very scared. I got up, and subhanAllah, as soon as I started to say the words, all fear went out of my mind. It felt as though a shower was inside my head and someone had just turned on the cold tap. Felt like I'd been flushed clean. I said the words, and I wasn't expecting so many brothers to come up and yell, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, and start kissing me and hugging me. Now, I'd never been kissed by that many men in my life. But it was a beautiful day, I must admit. And that day was the day that I had more brothers than I could ever imagine, more sisters as well. But I guess since that day I've never looked back. My family, I think initially were very worried that I was going to be, I guess, a little bit weird towards them. They thought that I was going to break out the AK-47s and the grenades. But they realised, I think, soon that this religion was actually making me a better person. Prior to Islam, you're not going to believe it, I had a mohawk. I did. I had, I'm not going to show you any photos. I had army greens, I had the Metallica t-shirt, I had the cherry dogs. I was shocking, right? I thought I looked great, but I looked terrible. And alhamdulillah, ever since then I look as good as I do now. No, don't laugh, please. But my parents were the first people to actually say to me once, which really amazed me. They said, my father actually asked me for the Quran recently, which I was really happy about. I always thought he'd be one of the hardest people to work on. But he said to me, ever since you've been a Muslim, you've been a better person. You're more reliable. I can count on you to come and pick me up if my car breaks down. Whereas before I go, Dad, I was drinking last night. I don't know if it's still out of my system.
I think he really funny, and it made me think about how you told me and everything, you know.
Yeah.
And it was really good, and yeah, he was funny. And the one thing that I felt most about was the fact that he was making humour out of his religion, and I would never have made humour out of religion, because you think, oh, it's too, you can't do that with whoever you're talking to, or you can't even speak to people that you don't even know that well like that, in case they have no religion. You know, I was frightened to hurt somebody's feelings.
But I think as well, like when I was doing my research into Islam, and quite a few people had a good sense of humour, and I felt that that was one of the best ways for me to learn, because I feel like sometimes if everything's so heavy, it's a little bit too much and it kind of puts you off. But when you get people with a good sense of humour, like that man telling his story, I think that's so nice for like people to listen to. And especially at the time when I was doing my research, I seen a short clip when he was telling the story, when he was like saying to Allah, show me a sign, anything. And I've heard a lot of people saying that before as well, that they really want to know an answer to something, or something's bugging them about the religion and they want to find out what it is, and then the next page they open up in the Quran and it tells them exactly what they were looking for. And that's happened to quite a few people.
Yeah, and it just even in life itself, people are too ready to give you their opinion, which they believe is right, about anything, any walk of life, to see that he always got it in writing. And he could read it.
That's what I found as well when I was doing research. Any questions I had, there was always an answer, and there was always proof to the answer as well. It wasn't just somebody just like making up their mind, just telling you what you want to hear. And if you are doing your research right now into Islam and you would like to know who to watch and videos that might help you, I did post a video on my YouTube channel a few months ago now. You'll find it there. But the people that I would recommend is number one, Mufti Menk. He's very soft-hearted and he has like a good sense of humour as well, and he makes everything really easy to learn. Ali Dawa is another one. I find him really funny, and he has a lot of good facts, and he gives really good dawa, so give him a watch.
The other thing I felt was good to hear was what his dad, and he said that he thought his dad would be the hardest one to sort of get it and, you know, understand and that. And I'm thinking that, well, when you told me, I think you were a wee bit anxious, wasn't you? You had got through all your procedures as well and that, but you was a wee bit anxious. And when you told me, you looked, for the first time I've ever seen you, you looked a wee bit scared to tell me. And I wasn't, it didn't surprise me, did it?
Yeah.
It didn't actually surprise me.
Like that man said, especially in the West, Islam is portrayed in such a terrible way, and he was like scared to tell his family because they would automatically think, oh, he's going to become like a violent person or something like that. It can be a really scary thing coming out speaking to your family when they don't particularly believe in God themselves. When they have a bad perception on Islam, I know I was really worried to tell my mum, but especially my dad, I was worried to tell him about it, like that man was saying there. But alhamdulillah, his family, by the sounds of it, took it really well, and his dad is now interested in reading the Quran, which is so beautiful.
When you did tell me that night, I wasn't surprised, and it didn't worry me. I promise it never worried me, because I'd worked with people in my care work at the time. I'd cared for people that were Muslim. I'd working alongside people. And
I think it's good as well to watch a video with my mum that is funny as well, because I feel like it's easier for you to maybe take in. And
I know. At first I was watching, and it was funny, but you're suppressing it a wee bit because your brain tells you not to laugh about stuff like that. But it was really easy to listen to, wasn't it? And he was honest, and he it was easy to listen to. And it's sometimes, and you just felt that you did want to laugh more than you did, but you know what I mean.
I think you almost started crying when he said his dog died.
I know. I know, even when he laughed about, oh, my dog died, so how can that be?
How can God love me and my dog
I know,
died?
and I thought, because that makes me sad all the time, thinking about the dog.
I can really relate to him when he said he looked around at all the other religions and nothing just felt right. And I agree with all the points that he made, where other religions you'll ask questions and people just kind of give you their own opinion.
I really related to him when he spoke about his dad saying it's made you a better person, because that's what it's done for you, isn't it? It really has. And that's my biggest thing for you, because as I've said before in other videos, you've always needed direction in your life and you didn't have any.
Yeah.
You know, whereas now you've found direction and you've got something to follow and a pattern to take, and it's easy for you, isn't it? And that's what I see with your faith now, is it's easy. There's set ways you do things. Like other religions, it's like you can just sort of freestyle it as you wish.
Yeah.
But what I know now about your religion is the fact that you've got a set way, a plan. It's like having, you know, it's like written down, this is the plan and this is what you do.
Yeah.
And this is what you don't have to do if there's this situation. And that it's easy, isn't it? And that's what I think you've always needed, everything to be straightforward for you. It's just, I think, the way you were brought up, wasn't you? You know? And that's what you needed. And when you grew up and went into the wide world yourself, you lost that pattern, didn't you? And this is what's brought you back to being the wee girl you used to be. Yeah, I really do see that. And so here, love it.
Yeah. I think since becoming Muslim, it's completely changed my life, and it's given me so much structure that I didn't realise that I was actually missing. Another person coming from a country where Islam isn't portrayed in the best way, ignoring that and finding out the truth for himself.
لا تبالي فالمعالي لا تبالي فالمعالي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our Sehri Show here on INX Prime. We are with you on your strings Monday to Sunday on INX Prime Sehri Show. We plug you with Nasiha, Quran, and also if you are, please be part of our show at INX Prime. Tell us what nasheed you would like to hear. Give us some ideas on what to add on our playlist, and we will surely do so. With that being said, let's go and listen to Certify.
There is a month that is truly blessed, a month of reflection. When the adhan fills the air, we ask for guidance and blessing. Ramadan days, Ramadan nights, Ramadan walks under the stars at night. Ramadan cries, Ramadan lights, Ramadan has arrived. Ramadan, where we fast till the setting of sun. Ramadan, the month of Quran. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. Millions of Muslims with hearts open wide will open their fast and pray side by side. We aim to be better than the year before. I pray you feel the rewards. Ramadan days, Ramadan nights, Ramadan walks under the stars at night. Ramadan cries, Ramadan lights, Ramadan has arrived. Ramadan, where we fast till the setting of sun. Ramadan, the month of Quran. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. A time to share, a time to love, a time where we all do good deeds and help everyone. We help with the homeless and be of the people with deen. Ramadan, where we fast till the setting of sun. Ramadan, the month of Quran. Ramadan, Ramadan, yeah, Ramadan. Oh, Ramadan, Ramadan.
لا تبالي فالمعالي لا تبالي فالمعالي.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. Unfortunately, we are at the end of the show. What a journey, what a morning, what a sehri. Today's food was delicious, delicious. The content was beautiful. It was inspirational. The du'as were uplifting. The Molana was also, pumping when it comes to the words, was pumping the imams. I'm so motivated. I think you guys can see my energy. I'm really, really, really out there and I'm ready to kick and kill the fast today. I think we have different days. Some days you are weak. Yeah, but today it's me and the fast against the world. I'm really going for it and I'm so ready. I'm very motivated and inshallah, I'm trying to get as much as I can from this fast. So I don't know how you guys feel about today.
Alhamdulillah. Actually, I think it's the fact that Ayesha brought that up. I think that's the whole point of the Sehri Show. The whole point is for you and all of us to get our series, to get our day started on a good note. Obviously, as time goes on, the fasts may become difficult. You may struggle to wake up for your series. The lack of sleep builds up. But we keep remembering that this is 1 month for the year where we have to give it our absolute utmost, make the hours count, make the sehri count, make the iftar count. Remember the people out there, we've said it before in our other shows, remember the reverts out there or someone who is fasting and they may not have as much as you have. Please give what you can. And remember, it's not about how much you give. Like we always say this, to you, the 10 rand that you pull out of your wallet means a lot because you had a plan. Like you were going to buy a Coke at the end of the day. You were going to break your fast with that Coke, but you didn't. You chose to give it to somebody else who will use that for a loaf of bread. Please remember that. Remember to make your Ramadan count. Every day counts.
Definitely. And I don't know, maybe I feel like my face has changed. It's day what and Noor. There's something.
No, definitely it's bright.
Days.
It's too much.
It's too much. The Noor. So much wudu going on. So much sajdas being portrayed.
Also, with that being said, this being the month of Ramadan, let's increase it in our Quran recitation. I know it can be tough, it can be slow sometimes. We have work, we have school. Also, for those of us that have little ones fasting, let's encourage them, obviously, to even fast, even if it's short, quarter day, until I know a lot of kids fast maybe until the whole. Try to push them up until where they can, but if they can't, obviously, but let's wake them up also for Sehri so that they can get in the mood of Ramadan. Let's get into the spirit of giving, like Saddica was saying, even if it's a 10 rand, even if it's a 20 rand, even sometimes it doesn't even have to be materialistic things that you're giving away, being kind to someone, smiling to someone in this month of Ramadan, removing a banana peel from the road, someone might have slipped. Those are good deeds and rewards that we should be looking out for in this month of Ramadan and trying to maximize on whatever good that we can here on our Suhoor show in Ramadan. This is what we're trying to obviously advise and encourage for ourselves first and then for you at home watching. So yeah.
Speaking of kids, it's very cute seeing these kids start so smart to fast. Yeah. You go visit someone's house, they fasting, and the next thing you know, you're like, they in the fridge, they eating. I'm just like, oh
and
my
you think they're the most happy. And you're just like,
They're always sneaking food in.
Yes, but it's so sweet. I think it's also important for us to instill the culture of Ramadan into kids so they know and have a memory of it, because you never forget as a child how Ramadan felt as a child and all the things that you were taught. Kids are like sponges. Whatever you teach them, whatever you teach them, they literally grasp it, especially at that earlier time or era of their life. It's very important as a parent, as a guardian, guardian or teacher to, you know, try to instill all these teachings and everything about Ramadan, because I mean, they are our future generation. You know, we want to see them observing their fast also in the future, like you said, even if it's until Dhuhr. And I think one of the things that you can do if you've got kids or you've got a sister, little brother, little cousins, is also try to reward kids. Kids are very like materialistic. They love material things. If you want to tell them about reward in the akhirah, they're not feeling it properly. Give them chocolate and tell them the rest is in Jannah. You know, like reward them physically so that they know that, oh, if I fast, mom is going to give me this. That's how you also get them to, you know, engage and actually keep their fast. But yeah, I think it's cute.
I actually agree. I think also one of the mistakes that I think taking back from my childhood is that we teach with fear. And I think when you're young, especially, that fear doesn't work, because if you just tell a child like fast or else Allah's going to punish you, it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm not being punished, so I'm going to go and eat what I need to eat, and that's just too much fear involved. But if you say like fast because mom is fasting or your sister's fasting, or let's have a race, who can keep their fast the longest today, or if we fast all day, we're going to get this and this at the end of the day, that it just puts more of a spin on it. And I wish it was done more when I was a kid. I think there was a lot of fear involved in why you should fast, and that leads to you breaking your fast secretly and pretending to fast, which is, I mean, can be avoided.
But yeah, I think it has been a beautiful show that we've had. And yeah, today I think the highlight that we spoke about mostly it's about the kids. Thank you for raising that. I think we forget them in Ramadan. We're only focusing on ourselves and speaking about,
we're struggling on our own.
We're struggling on our own and all of that. But kids also, and I think also how you can get them to be involved is even during the Sehri preparation and Iftar preparations. Teach them, go take this bowl, put it there. You know, you're going to get reward. This is what happens. Like all of these small things that you might think they're small, get them to engage and participate in the whole.
Have you guys seen these Ramadan counters? They're like, you know how like Christmas time people get Advent calendars? Now you get like a Ramadan counter. So you flip it to like day 1 of Ramadan, day 2 of Ramadan.
Oh yes, I've seen those. Usually they go with Ramadan calendars. Yeah. So it's beautiful to say we are on day 1, day 2. I know with kids also,
cool. Like
it makes it
Ramadan
cool. Yes, it's like checking in, and some of them even go an extra as actually having all the to-do lists.
Yeah, like
go
read my
unread,
salahs.
check all of that. It's cute, and I think if you're someone that doesn't have it, you can actually have it on your phone. It's downloadable. You can actually download those. What you call this? I forgot what they call them. There's a word for it, but yeah, you can actually download it on your phone. I'll go check it and come back and give you feedback to make sure that you are on haq, you are on deen.
Why is it very hard to explain to a kid that you're not fasting today? Like, it's Ramadan and you're not fasting, and you're trying to explain, no, I can't fast today. And they're like, nah. But something is very obvious. They feel like you're playing games.
Yeah, not only to kids. I feel like it's a thing that we have. Even there's like a guilt, you feel bad for not fasting.
Oh, when someone sees you, it's like a sin.
I don't feel bad anymore, to be honest. I'm like, you are old enough to understand what is going on, and I cannot be bothered.
There's still people who say that I'd rather not eat.
In front of people.
Not in front of people necessarily.
I'd rather not eat.
In front of people, I
understand. I feel like because if you have other people that are
respect,
fasting,
you know?
yes, then don't intentionally go and chew next to them or whatever. But if you are examined from doing something, you shouldn't feel bad, like, or guilty. I'm gonna eat. Obviously not in your face.
Yeah.
But if it's
or
my
like
time
you're
to eat,
breastfeeding or you're pregnant, your later stages as well.
Oh, I feel like that's my biggest fear. I wonder how, I hope the mummies are doing well, those that are not fasting in Ramadan. But hey, we know the payback is going to be hectic.
But I'm grateful that we have a merciful Allah. He knows the pain, the struggle that mothers actually go through, even women during that specific time of the month. So Allah has excused us from actually fasting. And as much as we have to pay it, but I think it's a form of love, because Allah, it's like Allah acknowledges that. I wish employers would like and excuse us also, but guys, we are at the end of the show, and we definitely love spending a morning with you. So do not ever miss a morning with the team, with the girls, with the Suhoor team. But we are going to wrap it up and hope that you are with us tomorrow morning. So yeah, I think it's the end.
Assalamu alaikum.